Hi, my name is Hamide Azizi. I'm a nursing student. I'm going to be injecting the influenza vaccine on today's lab, which is 10:15 on a Monday. I'm going to be giving Millie her yearly influenza vaccine. I've already been to the room. I've talked to her. She already knows the procedure. So now I'm at the med cart, and I'm going to perform my first med check. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to perform some hand hygiene. Doesn't work. I'll do this one. Perform some hand hygiene just to make sure we're okay. So the first thing I'm going to get is I'm going to get the actual influenza vaccine vial. So it looks like her dose is going to be 0.5 milliliters. So I'm going to look for the actual vial, which is in section 20. So I'm going to pull that out.
And then since I have that, I can go ahead
There you go. It says influenza. I'm going to double check that first and make sure that this is the influenza vaccine. This is 5 milliliters. And it is iron intramuscular. Perfect. We'll put that there. The next thing I'm going to get is I'm going to be getting my needle. Usually for intramuscular vaccines, we want to make sure that we have either a range of 1 milliliter to 3 for the syringe. So I'm going to be taking out the 1 milliliter syringe for this. And I'm also going to be taking out my needle, which is a 23 gauge of 1 inch for the needle. Because we want to make sure that the needle isn't too big, but also big enough to penetrate the muscle. Perfect. So we're going to put this here.
Perfect. Alrighty. And then if you have
I'm also going to take
as long as you
an
have your
alcohol wipe
and everything like that, you sure
to
you
clean
don't
the
need
outside of the
plastic
vial and gauze. We're going to pretend that's gauze.
And
So now I'm going to take this and we're going to move to the preparation room
So you just give it.
and get everything ready. So now I'm going to do my second check. I'm going to make sure that this is the correct vial that we're going to be using for the flu shot. So we're going to check that this is the influenza vaccine, 0.5 milliliters. There's 5 milliliters in here that I can use with. This is going to be the intramuscular route, so the needle, or the syringe and the needle are the correct sizing with 1 milliliter, and the gauge being 26 with 1 inch in the needle. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to hand hygiene one more time.
Did I forget anything?
No. And I'm going to clean the outside of the vial to make sure that it's clean before I
Do you want to go one more time?
enter my syringe within the vial. So I'm going to do a circular motion starting from the inside going in and then the inside going out to make sure that this is clean. Perfect. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to open up my syringe this way. Prepare the usage of the needle. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to open the actual needle, and this is sterile, so I'm going to have this open this way. I'm going to remove my needle, and I'm going to put it in this way. Perfect. So the first thing I'm going to do before I redo that is I'm going to put this down, make sure it's out of the way, and I'm going to insert this back in here while I redo this real quick. Perfect. So now I'm going to take this off, and I'm going to leave this here. I'm going to draw up 0.5 in air because the vial as of right now has no air. So in order for it to be easier for us to access it later, I'm going to insert it and insert that air within the vial. That way when I draw it up, it'll be easier for me to collect it. Now the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to draw up 0.5 milliliters of the solution. Hello? So there's a little bit of fluid, so I'm gonna, or a little bit of air, so I'm going to perfect. There doesn't seem to be any air bubbles. Before I move on, I'm going to do my second check here. I'm going to move these out of the way. We're going to make sure that it's 0.5 milliliters of the influenza vaccine, which we do. We also have our needle and the syringe at the proper length. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this over. We're going to take this out, put this here, and we're going to recap our needle. Perfect. Now I'm going to put this syringe back in here. This here. This is all the garbage that we don't need, and we're going to make our way on to Millie's room to give this vaccine to Millie.
Hi, Millie.
Hi,
How are you today?
I'm I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm good. My name's Hamide. I was here a little earlier.
Yes, I remember you.
Yes, I'm going to be giving you your influenza vaccine today. Before we move on, I just want to double check I make sure I have the right person. Can I have your name and date of birth, please?
Sure. Like Millie Larson, born June 26th, 1925.
Perfect. Thank you so much. So, like I said before, we are going to be giving you your flu shot today, and you've gotten that before, correct?
Yes, I have.
Okay, before we continue, do you have any questions before we get started?
No, I think I'm okay.
Perfect. So before we continue, I'm going to move your head up just a little bit so it's easier for both of us to work. Let me know if it's uncomfortable. There we go. I'm also going to push this down just so it's a little easier for me to work.
Sure.
Okay, so your flu shot I'm going to be giving you today is going to be in your upper arm. The purpose of giving the vaccine in the upper arm is to make sure that the vaccine gets into the bloodstream the way it's supposed to. The first thing I'm going to do is before I prep everything, I'm going to do my third med check. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to scan you, Millie. Perfect. And your name pops up onto my computer here. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to scan this vaccine and make sure it gets checked here. Beep. Perfect. So we're going to do our third med check here. We have the influenza vaccine for Millie Larson. Millie, can you confirm that can you tell me any allergies that you have?
I don't have any allergies.
Perfect. With no allergies, you have 0.5 milliliters for this vaccine here. It's going to be administered intramuscularly for the first time today on the 23rd at 10:32 a.m. Perfect. We have the 1 milliliter syringe with the 23 needle gauge with the 1-inch needle. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put on some gloves, Millie, so when we give the vaccine, we're both safe. How does that sound?
That sounds good.
Perfect.
Thank you.
The other nurse was saying that breakfast hasn't been served yet. Have you eaten today?
I haven't yet.
Oh, well, hopefully breakfast will come soon.
I hope so. I'm starving.
It'd be like that sometimes, doesn't it?
It does.
So the first thing I'm going to do, Millie, is I'm going to swab the area to make sure that it's clean. I'm going to start with going in the middle and working my way around.
Okay. Thank you.
Of course, and that's going to dry. In the meantime, I'm going to clean up my area just a little bit here. Perfect. The next thing I'm going to do, Millie, is I'm going to take out the syringe. And I'm going to give you the vaccine here in this area. When I count to 3, if you can please take a deep breath for me. You're going to feel a little bit of a pinch. It's
Okay.
going to burn just a little bit, but nothing you can't handle, correct?
Okay, sure.
Perfect. All right, on the count of 3, ready? 1, 2, 3. Alrighty, now I'm going to inject this in. How does that feel, Millie?
It feels fine.
Does it sting at all?
Just a little bit, but I'm okay.
Okay, it's normal to feel a little sting. Here we go. I'm gonna take this out. 1, 2, 3. Perfect. We're gonna close this. We're gonna have my gauze, and we're gonna put this here. I put the cap on the needle to make sure we have safety precautions here. I'm gonna take my bandage, Millie, and I'm gonna put that here for you. How are you feeling?
I feel good, thank you.
Good. So, with that, thank you very much. I'm gonna put you back the way you were before. I'm gonna put this back up. And I'm going to put you down the way you were originally. Is that okay with you?
Yes, please, thank you.
Perfect. Perfect. I'm going to document that this vaccine was given.
Oh yes, you
Perfect.
better.
I'm so happy to hear that. I'm going to put this in the sharps container. There we go. And thank you, Millie. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to use our call light.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you.
And see you.